Hello world and happy hacking. My name is Mark. I'm your host today for Web Dev Courses.tv, and we are switching over to modern web development. And that means that we are not going to have my beautiful face up there, but instead our Next.js project. So in the last session, we created, where is it? Let me copy it back in. We created a design. It's not supposed to be the design to end all designs. It's just something to work with. Let's see. We got www. Actually, it would be the I love design. And we're just going to copy that right here so that we have access to it. It looks like this. We need to turn this into basically a Next.js app, right? Right now, what we have, NVM U16, yarn and yarn dev. Oh, I didn't type that in right. I'll just type it a second time. Yarn dev, that'll run all of our dependencies, start up our project. And we should be able to open this with Firefox. By the way, I've got a repo that I'm going to push to at the end of this. Web Dev Courses TV at GitHub and Intro to Modern, I'll have to respell that, Modern Web Development. Let's see, we got localhost, hello world. That's where we're starting. It's not the right background color. It's not the right text. Let's start with the background color. We're running Tailwind, so we're going to use Tailwind shades. Tailwind shades will allow us to customize our Tailwind CSS file very easily. And the way that I would do it, where did my Photoshop file go? It's all the way over here. What I would do is I would say, okay, well, this is my reds. This is the base for my reds. It's a very dark red. So because it's a very dark red, I'm going to select 800. What's going to happen is it's going to pick a bunch of lighter colors for my other reds, and it's going to pick one red darker for the next one. So then we get this sort of a color scheme. All right, so let's take this wine color, which I'm just going to call red. I'm going to come back over to my Tailwind config. By the way, if you're one of my generals, if you're a general in the Web Dev Courses TV Army, go watch me on Twitter or on Twitch. I need to get those numbers up. YouTube's doing okay. It's a brand new channel. I expect it to be low attendance right now, but we're getting 2 or 3 people every single day on both platforms, which is good because the videos that I'm making are not algorithmic videos. They don't appeal to the stupid camera face and the clickbaity stuff. I don't really do that. And so I do get penalized by the YouTube algorithm, and the way to fix that, I proved it. It's very simple. You guys just got to share the link. If you're in India, share the link with people that are close to you. If you're in Ireland, take the link with you down to the pub. If you're in Mexico, well, we take our links everywhere. And if you're in the US, come on, just tweet that shit. Okay, so we want to extend the colors of our Tailwind, and we're going to extend the red. Well, technically, we're not extending, we're replacing. Since the way the JavaScript works, where if you give it 2 keys that are the same, only one of those keys can win, we're going to be fine here. So let's change our background red to red 800. Where would we do that? Well, in Next.js 12, we used to be able to create this nice little folder that would encapsulate our app. I'm sure there's a new way of doing it because you get a whole app folder now in 13. But it doesn't matter. It's still the same thing. We're going to change this to red 800. And that gives us 1 shade darker that we can go to for shadows, accents, whatever, and then shades lighter, obviously. All right, so what do we have now? We should have that. Okay, our text is way off to the left. I think we said 1024 was our breakpoints. So let's go to Tailwind CSS again, and let's look at the breakpoints. Okay, so we can set our own custom breakpoints And the default ones, where's the default? Here's the default ones. So we don't ever want the screen to extend beyond the 1024. So here's what I would do. I would extend it. Remember, we're doing theme screens now. So theme, extend, screens. Let's put those under the colors. And we're going to say that these two larger ones, let's just hard code those to the same thing as the large. And now our text is going to come in. And if we turn on responsiveness, we can get our text to come in even further. And this is due to the breakpoints. So if we switch this to like an iPad, you'll get a different breakpoint. If we switch it back to responsive or to like a Galaxy Note or whatever, it'll respond. It'll become that size. Okay, so next on our design, we also have to have this green thing. The green thing is the page. What I like to do is I like to actually codify page. I start everything off as a div because you should really be using the build, extract, refactor method that I use. It doesn't get me in any trouble. I've coded top up, bottom up, top down, code from the inside, code from the outside. I definitely prefer to code top down and then extract and then refactor, and then you sort of hit it from all angles. So rather than explain that process, let me just show you. This is going to become my page, but I don't have to do any of that yet. First, I just write the HTML. So what is this supposed to look like? Well, I'm supposed to have this green color. I don't even have the green color accounted for yet, right? So let's go back to our design. Let's select that color. That's clearly a dark color. So let's do the same thing. Let's go to Tailwind Shades. Let's go back to the color selection, paste in our new green. 800. So we can have like one more darker, but then the rest of them are lighter. And then here are our greens. Go back to our Tailwind CSS config. Open colors back up. Green. Our comma on there so that it doesn't cry. Save it. Come back. We're going to have to restart it. Maybe I didn't save this other file. I didn't save this file. So BG green 800. Then you get this. Now we don't want this big space at the top here. Maybe we want it for some of the pages, but not all the pages. Let's just go ahead and let it do what it's doing in the design. So now we have this green color, we got this red color, but the green color really needs to at least fill up the page, right? So min height is screen. Actually, totally backward. Min h screen. You get used to the Tailwind stuff after a while. That's not the max. That's just the min. So theoretically, if we added a whole bunch of p tags with some text inside, we should be okay. We can do that with Emmet. I'll do another video where I show you how to set up Emmet, how to set up VS Code, how to do all this stuff. But for now, once you have the tab setting on your Emmet, so if you do command comma, control comma, if you're on PC like me, go to your preferences, look up Emmet, and just look up to where it says tab as the trigger, and most of Emmet will work for you. We want a p tag that has a lorem inside of it. And we want it to be 20 of them. And so now you can see that it will still expand beyond the max screen. It's not going to max screen. It's just going to min screen. And we're good. So let's undo that change. Let's start coding out our site. Now that we've got that handled, we need another div. This is the div that's going to be the header. Does the div that has a header, does it look different? No, it's the same thing. I guess we could add a drop shadow here. I think I actually might have to add just a regular shadow. Let's make a big one. No, I can see it. Okay, so our header, we're going to have a logo. I do not believe I have exported this logo yet. Change that to logo. Save it. Let's just export this. Export as ping. Let's put it on the desktop for now. Call it I love pie logo. Let me do my folder hokey pokey because I'm on Windows and it doesn't make it very easy to bring it over to the Linux side unless I just drag it like this. So actually looks like we did have the cherry pie logo. All right, well, we already had the logo. Delete that one. Rename this to logo. And we're going to get rid of the favicon and the Vercel icon. I'm not here to advertise for them. Go away. We'll change our in fact, let's change our favicon now. Why not? We would need one without the I love pie, but we're okay for the moment. So I would just type favicon generator and try them because there's a bunch of different ones and they move around. I don't really care which one I use. I'm going to select this one. I love my logo design thing here. It should be creating it. Picture's not square. They're going to add margins. That's fine. That looks good. I mean, I don't care. Maybe it's got a little bit of color there. It's fine. Okay. So now there's a generate. Could I have another coffee and water, please? Thank you, love. So I would just put this stuff for now. Like in Next.js 12, there's a couple of different ways of doing this. You could add it like to a document file. It's kind of a pain in the butt. In the new version in Next 13, it's a little bit better. I don't use 13 though, because I don't work on beta software. I do everything in production for real clients. So I have to work on 12. I have to work on the stable version. I can't jump to versions that they're breaking. All right. What are we going to do? We're going to add this. So what I would do is I would just come to my underscore app .jsx file if you're not using my template and underscore app / index.js if you are. This is going to be each of your pages. They come in, they look just like this. So what I would do is cut that out, put a div around it, put my component in there. Now I've kind of got a place to put my header. So we've got a header here. In fact, I'm not even sure if that's going to need to be a div. It could just be a fragment. Inside of our header, we want to have our logo. I'm going to write to deploy this, I'm going to have to override next saying that you have to use their tag. I don't want to use their tag. I just want to use a regular image because it's simpler. Otherwise, I got to add all kinds of stuff that is just confusing to people who don't know what they're looking at. So we've got an image. Let's just give it a class name. And we're going to make it a width of, what is it? It is roughly 98 by 98. Fortunately, with Tailwind JIT, we can just put it in square brackets like this, and we can supply our own value. We don't have to use the value given to it. Now, the problem with this is I bet this is not square. Doesn't look bad. Okay. So the next part is now is like our header is outside of the page. We define the page as like the thing that goes around stuff. Remember this thing right here. So how do we fix this? How do we make sure that like this stuff, and here's the way I would do it. I would say, well, this is going to be on every single page, right? If it's going to be on every single page, just put it in here. So now we've got our div there. This is going to be another div. We're going to have another one. Let's take that now out of here and just have this return. I mean, just have it return in H1 now. And then you get this. Now everything's inside of the template. You're never outside of that green area unless you want to be, and you can be. But the way I built it, like you don't have to specify anything. You just, every time you build a page, it's going to have this layout. If you want a different layout, that's another day. I could totally show you how to do that too. All right, so we're going to be working in here. This is clearly too big. Let's take it down to 50. Also, why do I have it? Oh, well, that's why it's not working. No idea what happened there. That's how it's supposed to look. Yeah, that's affecting my pie, but it's still the wrong size. Let's do 70-70. Also, I was going to say, if you leave off one, I'm pretty sure it does the other one the same. Just keeps the ratio. Too small. Okay. 80. Just about right. If we look at our design, that's pretty close. It does need to be pushed off of the left edge. Also, those colors are not matching up. Why are those colors not matching up? What colors did I use? Green 800 is supposed to be the right color. That does not look like what I see, though. That red doesn't look like my red either. Actually, the red, yeah, no. The red looks closer. It's like they're washed out in the web. There's definitely more contrast here and more vibrance than there is in the other one. Oh well, I'll ignore it for now. So if you look at the design, we have three parts, right? You've got the logo, then you've got the menu, and then you got the card over here on the right. So how would you do that in JSX? It's very simple. Your header here is going to become a flex box. You now have to say, is it horizontal or is it vertical? If it's horizontal, that's enough. But I would add item center so that you get vertical alignment on all of those items. Now, if we put a div here, or we made the image a block element, either way, but I don't really like doing that. I'd just rather put a div around it. We got a div and a div. This is our menu. We got another div. That's our cart. And then you get this. It's not quite what we want. We want the menu to expand. We want the cart to be all the way at the end of the page. The way to do that, the easiest way, now that we've got this flex box, is we can just say that the menu grows. So we're going to do a flex grow on this menu. And now the cart gets pushed off to the side it's supposed to be. We need some gap here, though. So one of the nice things about the flex box is that it gives you a way to have consistent gapping across a whole bunch of elements horizontally and vertically. Honestly, Flexbox is probably my favorite thing that has come out of the HTML spec in years and years and years. All right, so flex center gap. I'm not sure what the gap is. Maybe 8. That'll have to change on mobile. And we need some padding. So it looks like it's padding on all axes. We need a little bit less on the top and a little bit more on the other one. Why is it that color? That is driving me crazy. It is certainly not the right green. Give this a shot again, because that's annoying me. So that's my green. I want it to be 800. The green I picked? That does not look like the green I picked. 343A. What it says it is. It sure doesn't look the same. Hue, saturation, lightness. Let me check the hue, saturation, lightness. Hue, saturation, brightness is not quite the same. 191, 38. There's the problem. All right, so what it's supposed to be What did I have it at before? It's supposed to be 1915523. 1915523. Still doesn't look right. No, because hue, saturation, brightness is not the same. Can I do RGB? Okay, so hue, saturation, brightness to HSL. So my RGB is 2652. 23. And HSL would then be this. H. S. Move them closer so I don't have to do that. And my lightness. That looks a lot closer to what I wanted. Apparently it's called mallard. That's a mallard green. Mallard green it is. L1 config, replace the greens. Ooh. Where'd that baby vomit come from? What? That is not the right color. Whoa. What happened there? Apparently I do have to go from the RGB because that was, ugh. I think I threw up in my mouth a little bit on that color. All right, let's try this again. Let's just make it the darkest color and then it won't mess with it. Still looks like it messed with it. All right, I'm gonna have to tune it by eye, I guess. So it definitely needs to be darker. It needs more saturation. I'm not convinced that's the right color. Close. I'd say right about there. Now apparently it's called Firefly. All right, Firefly. Don't bother me. Got work to do. Come on, you can build. It's not perfect, it's better. No. I'm gonna fine tune this color too just a little bit because if they're not the right color, they're gonna drive me crazy. I'm very color sensitive. I'm so sensitive. I'm a sensitive man. All right, we need less lightness. Clearly more saturation. Looks good to me. Paco! I like the color name. We got ourselves a Paco. Senor. Sorry, that's my Mexican accent. But hey, I'm Mexican, so I can do that. Right? Right? Maybe not. World's crazy. Okay, so I got I Love Pie. I've got a menu. It's starting to look more like what I see here, right? Let's make that our pies thing, because the menu looks fun. I like menus. I like fun. Let's do fun. All right, semantic HTML. If you hand this navigation menu off and it's not in a nav element, people freak out. If it's not also inside of a list, other people will freak out. So let's just make both of them happy. We'll change that to a nav. We'll change this to a UL. And we'll add 2 LIs. Now we've made both the semantic crowds happy. We have our pies. We have about us. This loses all of its styling in the tailwind reset process. So if we want it to also stretch out to the right, we're going to add a flex. We also want a gap. We add our gap. Okay. Obviously, we got to change the font. So it's got to be font like bold. Actually, I don't know what font it is. I know it's got to be a text of maybe XL. Bigger than that. 3XL? About right. But without the font, right? Without the font, it's terrible. So here's what I would do. I would look at how do you turn, what do I have? Well, I'm on Windows, so it's probably a TTF. How do you turn something like TTF to a WAF file? Well, if you do a search, you'll find Cloud Convert. Cloud Convert is freaking awesome. So I need to find I actually don't know where they are on Windows. Let's find out. Let's see. We'll find out together. Where is my C drive? Why is my C drive not listed? Well, I'll have to open up my PC, C drive, fonts, Windows, fonts. I have to open this in with the right permissions, which is not going to be through the web. Give me just a second. Let me find that file. I'll copy it out and we'll use it. Fonts. Yeah, now I can get in just fine. And I'm looking for what font did I use? Probably Free Guy or Obelisk. Luckiest Guy. That's why I always keep getting it wrong. It's Luckiest, not Free Guy. I love that movie, by the way. Free Guy's awesome. Luckiest Guy. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? There you are. Luckiest Guy. So I'll make a copy of you. Put you on the desktop next. Okay. Now we can do it. Select file. Desktop. Date modify. Okay, fine. Name. Luckiest Guy. So we want to take this Luckiest Guy TTF file, which is like a desktop file for fonts for Windows and Linux and Mac. And we want to change it to a WAF file. A WAF file is our actual font that we can use on the web. So now I'll just copy that over to my project again. And I'll just drop it in my public for a minute. How do we add this to our CSS? Well, we have to do a couple of things. And actually in Tailwind, we have to add a layer. Add custom font Tailwind layer directive. And we get, apparently not their documentation, but somebody talking about the documentation. Let's see if it's correct. You're not doing with a layer. Nope, not correct. Use a layer. We'll try one more, and if they don't get it right, we're gonna have to. This is correct. Of course, they make it so you can't copy their code. That's stupid. Go in CSS. Screw you guys. Google, you suck. Custom font. All right, so to do a custom font, you have to add a layer. Where's the layers? Okay, fine. We'll look up layer first. All right, so here's a layer. We're going to be adding to the base layer. Technically, I think my other code probably should have been in there too. Go ahead and do that. Layer base. This is going to help our Tailwind stuff work properly, basically. We need to add a custom font now. CSS font WAF. So you're going to find the font base directive. And that is also going to go in here. Now we've got our font face defined. We're going to call it luckiest guy. And it's at luckiest guy. I'm pretty weird about my file names. I really don't like them in strange formats. I've seen a lot of bugs where it was just a weird character in a URL. And so I don't put weird characters in your... one day I read the URI spec. People don't read specs unless there's a real problem. I read the URI spec and it clearly says no underscores, no uppercase... well, it says uppercase characters and lowercase characters should be treated the same. And it says hyphens are preferred to underscores because underscores are apparently something to do with encoding. They're very specific to UTF-8 and the web is more than UTF-8 these days. All right, so if we wanted to now change something to luckiest guy, make sure that there's nothing else I have to add here for Tailwind. I don't think so. As long as I add it to the base layer, it should be good. Now font weight. Why does it keep showing me font weight? Fonts. Font face. Where's font face? Font family, which is related to font face. Because I want to put in my Tailwind config too. Then I can get my own custom fonts to work. Fine, I'll just type it. I know where it is. So in here, we're, here's our colors. Here's our screens. Guess what? Fonts. And actually, I think it's font face. Font family. So our font family, we want to add a new font. And we're just going to say it's luckiest. So luckiest. Here's a customize right here. You give it an array. And that array has to have your font file. Or not your font file, but the thing that you named it. So we named it luckiest guy. Got to be luckiest guy. And then you could put a fallback. So like sans. So now if I come back over to here and I say font dash luckiest, not only does it show up because I have in extensions. I don't use a lot of extensions, but I do use auto close, auto rename, ESLint, field lights for my thing. I need live preview for when I'm doing regular HTML. Prettier, I'm not a fan of Rome so far. And Tailwind CSS IntelliSense. This is the magic one that it allows you to do stuff like this. So now this is literally in Tailwind CSS. So if I rerun this, let's see. Can't resolve luckiest guy WAF 2. I probably have to restart my process. Can't resolve luckiest guy WAF 2. What is the name of this file? Luckiest-guy WAF 2. Sure, it looks exactly the same. And there we go. But we don't have our font, so something didn't work. Font luckiest. There we go. There's our custom font. Okay, we have our cart. Our cart also has to have this custom font. So let's just move. It's basically everything in the header. If I decide I need something not custom font in that header, I'll change it. But for right now, it sure seems like that's what it is. Well, it just says cart. So I'll just put cart. And we need our pie that doesn't have all the other stuff. let's export this ping, put it on the desktop. We'll just say lonely pi. You do a copy thing. Here's my lonely pi. Now you're here. And that's probably what I should have used for my... Oh yeah, I was going to do my favicon. I could redo my favicon now with that icon. Where's my favicon? Here's my generated favicon. Let's put that information in too. So how do we do that? Well, we're going to come back into this app. We're going to import next head. From next slash head. And then we got to just figure out what we're going to do with it. So we're going to have to put a fragment around this because we're modifying the head, but the head is not the same thing at all as the body. We have to separate the two. So we got our open next head, we got our closed next head, we've got our container, got our fragment, which is in the wrong place. Why does that not work? Cut that much out. Still not closing. What's it missing? It's got an oh, I know what it is. None of these are self-closed because that generator is garbage. It's supposed to generate HTML5, and that's not HTML5. There. My code was HTML5. Theirs wasn't. Okay, now I don't want that, well, great, it's fine. Where is my favicon package? Let's just extract this. And let's get the favicons. I'll just grab all of them. And back here. Drag it. All right, let's see if that changed anything. We should get our little pie. Where's our pie, man? Where's our pie? Let's make sure all the routes or the paths are right. So / favicon, yeah, because this is / so favicon, blah, 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 blah. That's all fine. Stop it. Stop it. Restart it. Open a new tab. And still nothing. You know what else we don't have? We don't have a title. Let's just make sure that it's not the code by adding a title into it. Okay, so it's definitely getting added to the head because our title went in there. What are we missing? Where's the basic favicon? Why doesn't it have a basic favicon? I guess it's got a 16 and a 32. Yeah, 16, 32, but it doesn't just say favicon. One of these has to just say favicon.png or it's not going to work. None of them do. Okay, fine. You copy, paste, rename. See, this is kind of shit. That would totally lead you astray if you didn't know. So I wouldn't use that favicon generator. Gives you a whole bunch of stuff you don't need, to be perfectly honest. Let's get rid of all this crap. Give me my favicon, damn it. Leave me alone. Yeah, we'll keep Loneliest Pie. We'll keep that. We'll get rid of that. We'll get rid of that. Now we just have a favicon. Link icon 32. I want the 16 version. Favicon ICO. All this other garbage. Now I got my Vercel one back. That's cached. So I could clear my cache. I could do a bunch of things, but my favorite way is just open up a private window. And there's our pie. So now we have our custom font. We've got our favicon. We've got our colors. We're moving along nicely. Moving along nicely. What do we have for time? 40 minutes. Probably a good time to commit my code. Git status. Where are we at? So we got a whole bunch of new stuff. Git add. Make sure everything in there is what I want. All looks good to me. Git add dot git commit dash m. And we are going to call this basic header. Make sure I still have my origin dash v. Get remote. And I should see my origin, and I do. Let's do a git push. Now this might have to be forced. Nope, we're fine. Okay, so github.com/web dev courses ev. Intro to modern web development. I need to rename that. Here's my setting. Hello, it's my oh, I'm in an incog window. Of course I'm not logged in. There we go. Settings. Intro to modern web development. Get that right. Code. Copy. All right. Get remote. Remove origin. Get remote. Add origin. Pasty. Get push. It's already pushed. Get remote dash v. Make sure we have the right one. Get push origin. We got to set our master upstream. Should say up to date. Now we're good. Okay. I'm going to put this in the description of this video. And it's now in the description. So we will be continuing later on this evening, 7 p.m. Mexico City time. And we are going to be working on, if I can get this up in front of me so I can see it too. That's wrong. It's not supposed to say databases in CRUD twice. I have to fix that. 7 p.m. is databases in CRUD. MongoDB, we're going to be building out the database for this Pi store application, whatever you want to call it, right? We're going to be doing that there. What else? Oh yeah, 8 p.m. We're going to be building our JavaScript RPG game. So 8 p.m. Mexico City time, same as Chicago, same as Dallas, Texas. Join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Modern Web Development Introduction. We're building a I Love Pi store. My name is Mark. And yeah, thanks for joining us. See you all soon.